Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you to Daily Hindu Editorial video. These videos they come in the morning and in the evening the PIB videos they come both in Hindi and English language. And today is 26th of January, so it's a Republic Day. So happy Republic Day to all of you people. You see, freedom is only saved when there are rules. If rules are not there, then it would be a chaos after some time, and freedom would not be saved, and freedom would not remain there in any country. So rules are important, and constitution is giving us that direction, those rules where our country would be going on a path. So it is the bigger day than the Independence Day, because getting independence is a big thing, but bigger thing is maintaining this independence, maintaining our freedom, and constitution is the only way. Constitution is the only tool that can help us in maintaining and saving this freedom. So that's why Republic Day is very, very important, and more important than the Independence Day. Next, if you are able to believe in Santa Claus for like 8 years, you can believe in yourself for like 5 minutes. You see, the problem with normal human beings, what is that? That we underestimate our powers, and till the time we don't try things, then we are not able to know fully about our qualities. You see, take an example that you are sleeping in your bed and you are thinking about going to gym, but you don't feel like energetic. But anyhow you push yourself and you go out of your bed and you go to the gym, and at that particular day you will lift much more weight than usually you lift. So when you are depressed, but at that same time when you act, then actual caliber that is there inside us, that comes out. So we will never know about our abilities till the time the struggles will not come. So all the time some hidden potential is there inside us, but if we are believing that potential, if we are not depressed by negative conditions, then certainly our performance is best. And that's why it says that if we can believe in Santa for 8 years, means that was a false belief, but here your performance should not be affected by any kind of negativity. So whatever potential you have inside you, that should come out, and you should believe in that. So for a moment, for a particular phase in your struggling phase of your life, so you should believe yourself fully. It doesn't mean that you develop misconceptions or something overestimation about yourself. That's not the message here. The message is that remove your negativities and believe in your full potential and try yourself, so that you can know how much capable you are, and that potential can be increased. So that's the motivation for today. And these are the pen drive courses. You can call on these numbers and you can ask for these pen drives. These are very important. Whatever exam you're preparing for, these are going to be the biggest help. Okay. Next, the MCQs that I gave to you yesterday, all these countries, they are not having any written constitution. You see, the first written constitution was from US of America, United States of America, and we followed this thing. And now we are the country which is having the biggest document as a written constitution. Okay, and these countries, they run on some conventions, their parliaments, their procedures, but they don't have written constitutions. Okay, and UK is the country which we are following as a parliamentary system, but this country doesn't have any written constitution, and we need this written constitution. We are a huge country, we are a quasi federal country. Okay, so that's why. Next question is, currency of Venezuela is Bolivar, as we discussed yesterday, and we are also going to discuss a particular article on Venezuela's condition. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, it is spread in 3 countries, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and many protected areas like these Panerghata, Nagarhole, Wayanad, Mudumulai, Silent Valley National Park, all these protected areas are coming under it. So Biosphere Reserve is a bigger term, and national parks can be there inside it, wildlife sanctuary can be there inside it, so it's a larger term. Okay, now the vocabulary, the words that I found, and try them in the sentences. The editorials today. First, we would talk about the farm loan waivers and its examination done by Mr. R. Ramakumar. Here you see there is a public opinion, a particular common perception which always comes out by these economists and financial analysts and the bankers and the government sometimes. Okay, you see they always are having a particular prejudice and this common knowledge that farm loan waivers, they are totally negative for the economy and they are disastrous for economy. But here in this article, writer wants to put these facts, and he is trying to prove here that this thing is not totally correct. There are some apprehensions. What are that? He is saying that there is difference of opinions. Difference is there because some facts are there that we observe. If we go for the situation of NPAs, then you see, do you know the reality that NPAs were only 2% in 2001 for farm sector, and they were more than 20% for the corporate sector NPAs. And you see, these are the bigger loans, so there are huge losses and bigger losses for banks, and banks are totally devastated if these corporate loans are turning into NPAs, the situation that we are observing today. And they were only 2% in 2001. After 2008, they rose to around 5%. But these loans, they rose to many more numbers. Now see, if this kind of situation is there, that means, that shows that farmers are much more responsible. They are sincere in repaying these loans. Although they are demanding waivers all the time, they are demanding subsidies all the time, but these people are more sincere and they follow these guidelines more religiously. Now see, always some political issues are there, and you know the real situation that farmers are really struggling a lot because not much investment is done in the agriculture, not much research and development is there, not much technological upgradation is there. So all these things are going in a negative direction, and they all are bringing devastation to the farm sector and ultimately the lives of these poor farmers. And more than 50 to 60% people are employed in this farming sector. So already it is having genuine problems, but still they are repaying their loans. You see the poor condition here, and these are facts. These are not any kind of observation or any kind of opinions. These are based on facts. So facts tell us the real situation. And you see the situation of corporate sector, where you see when these loan waivers are brought for these corporate sector, do you know what kind of labeling is done here? They always call them restructuring or time management, the restructuring of these industries and recapitalization, sometimes for the banks, sometimes for the companies. They always call them too big to fail. So by all these notions, they anyhow justify this situation that whatever we are waiving in the farm sector, that is farm loan waiver, and that's devastating for the economy. And that's although there's also a reality that these amounts are very less if we are comparing with bigger loans of corporate sector. These are less, but we call them disasters. But we don't call them disasters, and we call them that these support are necessary, and these are too big to fail companies or institutions. So when we are doing the same thing logically, and the same impact is there on the economy, and taxpayers' money is given in these recapitalization and all, then we don't consider them disastrous anytime, but we consider these farm loan waivers as disasters. That thing is not fair, and that is the argument given by writer here. Okay, now see, he is saying divided opinions, because economists, bankers, and the opinions of some scholars, they are divided here, because scholars are saying that these are the facts, and bankers are saying the economy is totally contracted because we need to arrange this money anyhow, and these are totally zero output giving things. But you see the issue I have explained to you. Now see, if we go by their logics, they are putting most importantly 3 important points. What are these points? We will see here. First, reputational consequences. Second, investment and productivity. And third is the shrinkage of the farmers' future access. The issue of repayment I have explained to you. Now they are saying that reputational consequences means reputation would be in danger for farming sector, and they are losing their reputation if they are availing this farm loan waivers. Second option, second argument which is given here, that is the investment and the upgradation in the capital capacity. You see, nowhere these loan waivers are given to improve this situation of investment and the capacity. That is never the case. Writer is saying this, that it is never the case. We are actually doing taking these steps of these farm loan waivers in emergency conditions, because farmers are taking their lives, they are doing suicides. So it's an emergency situation, and anyhow we need to put this band-aid on the wound. When it is the bleeding that is going on, then we need to put band-aid on it. So it's like a band-aid. Okay, it's an emergency situation. We know that it is pressing the economy, but we need to do that because it is the ultimate need. Otherwise these lives will be lost. And already we have not done much in the agricultural sector, and already we have not done given much support to this sector, and we always give support to corporates and banks. So this argument, this justification is wrong here, that you are saying that investment is not facilitated with this, because for the investment it is not given. Third is the future access. You see, bigger culprits according to the writer are banks and governments, because they always are in a need to find some kind of opportunity where they can say that the loan giving to farm sector is not viable, it's not economic, and it should not be given, because the loans given to farming sector, they come under the PSL, priority sector lending, where it's a mandatory condition for the banks to give loans to priority sectors like weaker sections, farming, and some self-help groups and other welfare measures. So there they are mandated to give these loans, and these are around 40%. So 40% of their loan giving capacity is fixed here, and banks feel a lot of pressure because of this, because they earn through these loans and they don't earn much through these priority sector lendings. So that's why they always want to escape this. But you see, again an issue, that because they are always trying to find this opportunity to stop giving loans to farmers, and they want to give these loans to corporate sector, because there they earn bigger interest. But you see, risk is also bigger there, and the consequence we are experiencing now, when these bigger loans they become NPAs, then the banking industry is totally devastated. It's no more viable, and the situation we can see today. And we need to give these recapitalization of these bankings, the packages we are giving these banks, and now we are giving this out of budgetary supplements or the taxpayers' money. So everything is leveled here. Whatever argument we gave that we should not give in the priority sector and we should give more loans to corporate sector, here we are involved with recapitalization, restructuring. So what we are doing now, we are losing money here, a lot of money we are losing here. So there is a bigger risk. So this argument is totally false according to the writer. Whatever they are saying, that anyhow the future access should be stopped. If you are giving loan waivers today, then the future access would be in trouble. The writer is saying they need more future access, they need bigger future access, they need more institutional credit, because they need investment, they need support, they need startup like supports to these farming sector. And you see what happened in the real situation. In 2008, they told us, the data told us, that most of these farmers, they were not given the loan waiver certificates. And when these people were not producing their certificates to banks, then banks were saying that you are not eligible to take loans because you don't have that certificate, and these loans are not going to be repaid, or they are going to be waived off, so we cannot give loans to you. So many farmers were denied credit by the banks because they could not produce the certificates, and these certificates were given by government only. So government is at fault and banks are at fault. Okay, so fault is lying bigger with these entities and less with farmers. Okay, so farmers problem is not much, bigger problem lies with these smart institutions, and anyhow they don't want to give loans to these farmers. So indirectly they don't want to support the farming sector, and again they are saying this sector is unviable and nothing comes productive out of this sector. But you see, a country can run without corporate entities, but country cannot run without farmers. That's the real situation. One more point which is given here, that you see the situation, the background here, that center is discussing a big scheme for the farmers now, where they are going to waive off all the loans of farmers. They are considering this move after many states, 11 states announced these kind of schemes of loan waiving. So center is under immense pressure, but they are considering this issue and they are taking all kinds of arguments regarding the issue. The reputation consequence is there, and productivity issues are there, and the shrinkage of farmers' future access is there. They need to see all these points, but still they are under political pressure that anyhow they would make it possible. They would waive these loans off. But the writer is saying this would not be a totally negative move. It would be a positive move today, because farmers are under immense stress, unimaginable stress, and they seriously are when they are not getting even 1 rupee for their 1 kg produce. Then this is total a devastation, and they have to throw these producers, and they are not getting any kind of money for their producers. Their producers are not procured by the government or by the market. Then what they will do? They are under immense threat, and they are taking unconventional and uninstitutional credit from other entities, and they are pushing their lives a lot, and ultimately they don't have any way left than committing suicides. So that's a very problematic situation. And now see, we have seen the numbers of the NPAs, and we have seen the situation that these people are much more sincere than these corporate entities. And after independence, 2 times these nationwide loan waivers programs ran, one in 90s and one in 2008, and both times these kind of data came out. Okay, and a bigger issue they are saying that always, and that's a reality also, that always large land holding farmers, the bigger farmers, they are availing the advantage of these loan waivers, and that's a true situation. That's a problem actually with this particular scheme, because in the Green Revolution case also, we also experienced this thing that regional imbalances occurred. Why? Because these large farmers, and mainly they are in the states of Western UP and Haryana and Punjab, these are the bigger farmers, and they are prosperous today because they were having bigger land holdings and all the advantages of Green Revolution and the farm credit. They availed the benefits, and the small and marginal farmers, they remained outside of these purview, and they could not avail any kind of benefit. So it would not be useful for these small and marginal farmers to take the advantage of loan waiving. And the situation we are seeing in the states of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan also, where this thing is not working for small and marginal farmers, only large farmers are taking advantage. So here writer is giving a particular solution. What is that solution? The solution is the Careless Blueprint Act. You see this 2006 Act, which came Kerala Farmers Debt Relief Commission. What these people did here, they did a particular thing that they identified these credits, and those credits which these farmers took from anywhere, not only from banks or these institutional credits they considered. They also considered credit taken from outside, maybe some Mahajans or some other unconventional ways, any the relatives or something, if they have given money to these farmers, then this scheme considered those credits also, those loans also, and they evaluated all of them. And in the end, if those became certified, then all these credits, all these loans, whether they were taken from banks or outside, they all were siphoned off and they all were waived. Okay, and this money was given by government. So that's how it was the effective method, okay, for loan waiving. And even the small and marginal farmers, they were also getting benefit of it. Conventional scheme of loan waiving, there these farmers, small farmers, they cannot avail the benefit, but here all were advantage, all were at advantage. Okay, and this can be a model that can be applied all over India. If center is considering this move, then this kind of move would work for these small farmers, and maximum number of the farmers in India are small and marginal farmers who are having very small area of land. Okay, so this blueprint would work a lot. And in the end, he is suggesting some steps that if these are not taken, then nothing would improve in the farming sector, and this situation would keep going, and all the small and marginal farmers, their lives would be at risk, total risk, and most of them would commit suicide because there is no way left for these poor people. You see, we need to give bigger inputs. We need to invest a lot of investment we need to do in agriculture sector, and the research and development, machines upgradation, technological integration. All things need investment, and we need to give all the inputs. We need to apply these recommendations of Swaminathan Commission. They are very much practical. And the procurement ways, highest corruption level are there with these APMC mandis. And e-Naam like scheme, they can be a game changer, where the technological platform based solutions, they can give all kinds of solution for these conventional problems of procurement, where corruption is the only thing that you see. So these things need improvement. Institutional credit needs to go up, not towards a decline. It should go towards a progress. We need bigger amount of institutional credit. That's the ultimate need, and this particular article is talking about this issue only. And enhance public investment. Government needs to invest here, and the bigger storage facilities, scientific facilities, they should be there, because you see, we have surplus production sometimes, and all these grains and all, they are rotting like hell in these particular go downs, and this grain is eaten by these rodents and all. So these situations are very much unfortunate, when people are dying out of hunger on the roads, and this grain is getting rotten in these go downs. So that should be improved, and we need bigger and smarter and proper storage facilities, and that's the biggest need here. So these are the steps we need to take, otherwise farmers will continue to be bonded, and repeated debt traps would be there, and only political parties would take advantage of the situation. Nothing would change, only governments would change, and they will put a pressure on the taxpayer also, because all these recapitalization, all these loan waivers, they are supported by the taxpayers' money. That's the thing. Next article, it's not of much importance for us from exam point of view. Only important thing that we need to learn from this article, that international scenario, how is it, what is the international cooperation, what is the involvement of bigger countries, and how the disturbances, domestical level disturbances, how they are affecting the international relations and the international image and the international reputation of any country, and what kind of consequences we see here. Okay, you see, Venezuela's economy was totally dependent on the crude oil and its sale. When these prices, they collapsed, then the economy collapsed, and Venezuela is in a deep trouble today. And because of this trouble, the government became inefficient. They could not manage all these issues. They are no more able to take further loans. Okay, and people are on streets. So obviously employment issues, food security issues, they all will be in peril. So these people will protest. Now these protests, bigger country like USA, it is taking advantage here, and it is fueling these protests. And the opposition leader, they are finding a great opportunity to take power here, and they planned a coup, but they could not be successful 2 days back, because military, it supported the president here, and because of their fealty and because of their loyalty, the government was saved. And anyhow, situation is till now, anyhow it is working. It is unstable, but it is working. Otherwise total chaos would have happened till now. And because the USA, it is fueling the opposition, they have recognized the opposition leader as a country's leader, and they have hailed this president as a incompetent and undemocratic leader, and this government is totally inefficient. So in all these issues, you see, disturbance is the common thing. If we take the case of Syria, if we take the case of Iraq, if we take the case of Afghanistan, if we take the case of Libya, if we take the case of whole this Middle East, everywhere similar situation. USA is intervening there. Somehow it is supporting the government, somehow it is supporting the opposition, somehow it is supporting the these provocative groups, and anyhow instability follows, and in the end dominance is there with the USA. Only exception is the Afghanistan situation, where dominance could not be created, and the groups like Taliban, they are much more dominant in the area. Otherwise USA rules, and it is the way of USA. So it's a great learning from this article that USA is a very unreliable partner. We should not give much emphasis to the relation with USA. We should be careful. It's not like that we should not maintain any relation and we should cut off USA. It's not like that. Totally, it's not like that. But we need to be careful, much more careful, because this pattern is seen all over the world. Okay, now the situation, as I told you, Mr. Hugo Chavez, he came in 2000 he came in 1999, and after that the oil prices, they rose with huge numbers, and because of this economy also progressed a lot. And at the same time, you see Iraq and the Afghanistan issue happened, the attack on USA 9/11 happened. After that, the focus of USA shifted from these Latin American countries to Middle East, and because of this shifting, these countries were free of intervention. These Latin American countries are free of intervention by USA, and they could progress. So you see the clear pattern emerges here that USA, wherever USA goes, instability follows. Okay, so they could do much progress. But in 2013, Hugo Chavez died, and after that all these speculations followed. Okay, and after these speculations, what happened? These speculations brought instability, and you see the rise of right wing followed. As the rise of right wing is going on as a wave all over the world, when countries are becoming more and more conservative, okay, and conservatism is the idea of right wing, but it is not helping any country, and everywhere we see liberal ideas are the only supportive ideas in this multifaceted, multipolar world. We need acceptance, we need diversity, we don't need differences, and differences is the idea of right wing ideology. They don't have much acceptance to others. They want to put their own ideology, own ideas. Okay, so that's the thing. This is the pattern we see in USA in Trump's election. We see this idea in the Greek country, in the Macedonia issue. We see in India also, where right wing is in power, and total change of the situation we can see socially. So it is the rise of right wing. But how it is going to help? I have given you a mains question based on this issue. You have to take it positively, because you see, acceptance is based on liberal thoughts and liberalism. This ideology, it's not like that you allow everything, but you don't shut your doors. You should be liberal and you should be accepting. That's how the productive ideas would follow in this economy based world. You cannot shut your doors. We could not progress when we had shut our doors. When we opened our doors in 1991, then only we could progress. But you see, it was the economic front. But in the social front also, we would have problems if we would shut our doors to diversity. And you see, conservatism is not helping any country. This is the pattern we have been observing everywhere. But you see, it is being followed. Conservative people are more in number, because situations are anyhow suppressing the normal population. The employment is not much, and economy is not supportive, and jobs are less, so salaries are less, and people are much more in trouble than they were before in the history. So anyhow, whatever stress that is coming in the life, the right wing is finding their way. It is saying that this stress is because of the liberalism. So we need to be conservative. That's the pattern everywhere we see. So in the situation of Venezuela, the opposition leader is conservative, and he says that these socialist ideas and all, they are not going to help, because Hugo Chavez and this leader Maduro, they both are socialistic. Okay, and this socialism, according to the opposition, is not going to help, and whatever disturbances are there, USA is fueling these disturbances, and anyhow indirectly it is fueling this. How it is fueling this? There is a Lima group. You see, Lima is the capital of Peru country, which is there in the South America. So this Lima, group is there where all these countries of most of the countries of South America are there. These are Latin countries, and the Canada is there. USA is not there in the Lima group. Okay, and they are committed to overthrow the government. They are committed to overthrow the government of Venezuela, and they are saying that anyhow we won't allow this undemocratic government. But you see that the writer is saying that it is not proved that it is undemocratic, but instability is certainly there, and these all groups and these pressure is created by USA only. Writer is saying this, so USA is the main culprit here. And you see, thus far the government of Maduro remains in power, and the military has pledged its fealty to the elected president. Then certainly the situation is under control today, but who knows about the future? Because country is in immense pressure, economy is not supportive, it is totally collapsed, and again the oil prices, they have come down, and a lot of the oil fields in the Caribbean area, these are also captured, and they are also taken as sanctions, and a lot of sanctions are there on this country of Venezuela. So it does not have any way. Anyhow, they are opposing this particular protest, and they are taking actions against the protesters, and somehow they could save their government this time, 2 days back. But what's going to happen next, nobody knows. So that's the situation going on, and even the neighbors, they are also miffed with Venezuela, because you see, when any country is failing, because Venezuela is failing because of the economy, then the neighbors, they create a lot of troubles. You see, we have troubles with Pakistan, we have troubles with China, because these are the neighbors. Always neighbors have problem. So here these neighbors are also fueled by USA. The Colombia and the other country is I forgot the name of the country. So they are also alleging, and they are also committing themselves that we will overthrow the Venezuelan government. We won't let this person stay in the power. So all are supporting the opposition, and Venezuela is in trouble. So Mr. Ari Aza is the finance minister there, and the writer was having a small chat with Mr. Ari Aza, and he is giving all these informations that what is the trouble with this country Venezuela. It was totally a left ideology based country 10 years back, and they all believing in inequality, and no conservatism was there. But everything changed in last 7 to 8 years, and now people are much more conservative, and they don't lean towards this liberalism and the left ideology. You see, South America is the capital of left ideology. Che Guevara, you must have heard the name, the famous leader of, famous icon of the left ideology. This was the same continent, but here you see conservatism, and who is taking the advantage of this conservatism? The countries like USA, and all disturbances are being followed. So these things are not productive for the country, and for the world order also these things are troublesome. Okay, and the oligarchy means small group of people who wants power. Maybe they are in power, or they want to remain in power, or they want to capture the power. So these are the oligarchy. So these oligarchy is supported by USA, totally fully backed by USA, and it is creating a lot of trouble, and they are fueling common people. Whatever stresses they have, they are fueling these people against the government. So that's the thing that is happening according to the article. Okay, and you see the issue with these people who are fueling these right-wing groups. They are less interested in democracy, and they are more interested in power capturing. This is the common trend that you see everywhere in the world, whether it's USA, India, Middle East, everywhere the conservatism is using this ideology. The right-wing ideology is being used to capture the power. Right-wing ideology is itself is not wrong. It is okay, it is right. But when it is used for power capture, then it is a trouble, because it is used politically. That's a issue. So it is all about the situation in this article. Next, we are going to talk about a little about Kyasanur forest disease, because you see this disease is unique for India, and in 1957 it was found in India, and its virus is that the main cause of this disease. Okay, this Kyasanur forest monkey fever virus, because it was seen in the monkeys, and they were having high fevers, so it was called monkey fever disease. first, these researchers in 1950s, they thought it's a first case of yellow fever disease in India, but it was a different case. And mainly these ticks and all, they are the vectors because they suck blood. So when any humans or some other animal, if that comes into the contact of these ticks and that sucks their blood, then this virus is spread in their blood. Okay, so ticks are the vectors, not mosquitoes, and reservoirs are the monkeys and maybe some rodents also, because this virus is surviving and it is maintained in the bodies of rodents, and when this virus is spread to humans or monkeys, then they are becoming ill. So that's the issue. Now the article says it is total mismanagement of our ecosystem because we are disturbing our forests. This was the disease of forest, Kayasundar forest disease, but we intervened in the ecosystem, in the nature, and we settled there in the forest areas. We created our habitations there, and that's why this disease reached up to humans. And this disease is specific for the area of Karnataka, okay, where in this Kayasundar forest area it was only seen at first, but now it is spread to the Wayanad forest of Kerala also. It is seen in the Goa also. So that's the issue. It is seen in the Tamil Nadu forest also. So it's a danger for us, and the main cause is our disturbance in the nature, in the forest areas. Okay, and this Shivamogga district which is there, it's a very sensitive district, and all these forest areas of Western Ghats, they are here, and a lot of trouble followed in the last decades. And that's why, because of this disturbance in the ecosystem and the sensitive Western Ghat area, out of our human intervention, this disease is spread to humans now. This is the main message of this article. And otherwise, this disease, we had discussed that in a previous lesson about this Kayasundar forest disease. What is this fever and how it is caused and how it is spread. We had discussed this issue. Okay, so now the editorials are over, and now we are going to discuss about the facts. Three people, Pranab Mukherjee and Mr. Bhupen Hazarika and Nana Deshmukh, they are to be given Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award. Okay, second highest civilian award, that is Padma Vibhushan, was also given to these people previously, and now Bharat Ratna would be given. He was a great social activist. He belonged to Jan Sangh, but that was a very different Sangh at that time, and he actually worked a lot for Dalits and poor people, and social activism was the main theme of his work. So he was a great personality. He said that when even Lord Rama was ready to help these Dalits and their concern was there to him, and he never did this the caste based discrimination or something like that. So why should we discriminate? And he did a lot for Dalits, and that's why he is a great personality. And you see, he is being given Bharat Ratna. Bhupen Hazarika is the person who was a folk singer and a director, actor. A lot of qualities were there inside one person, and he gave global recognition to the Assamese culture, its folk tradition, these music and all. Okay, so he was a great personality. Now he would be given, and Pranab Mukherjee, all of us know about him. Okay. Next data is regarding the RCS scheme, the Udan scheme, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, which was started 2 years back, and the RCS regional connectivity scheme was there. Here we have achieved milestones in Udan 2.0 second phase. We have created 29 lakh seats, because seats are reserved in the domestic airlines. Okay, and viable gap funding is being done here for the 10 years now, and this a participation of common people in the air traveling, it is rising, and because of this scheme, so it's a game changer scheme, and common people are focused here so that they can fly and they can take advantage of this fast service. Till now the participation of elite class is only there in this domestic flight system and all, and common people are only flying when they are going abroad, okay, for some work or something like that, or some studies or some jobs. So they are only using airlines internationally, but domestic airline industry is the focus of RCS scheme mainly. So here we are achieving these milestones. And you see in the unserved areas, the greenfield airports are sanctioned. What are the greenfield? Where it is totally a land. There's nothing in the name of airport or aerodrome, something like that. So if from the starting, if these airports are constructed and they are starting the service, then these will be called greenfield airports. And brownfield are those where some aerodrome is there already and some underserved airport is working, and if upgradation is done in that airport, then it would be called brownfield airport. Okay, so these things are the components of this huge scheme. It's a game changer scheme. You can see the details of this scheme on the PIB website. Type just Udan PIB and you will be getting all information. And Krishnas Hope, who was a bold writer of 1960s, where she wrote about female sexuality, and that was totally a taboo, but at that age also she wrote about it. She got a Sahitya Academy Award. Sahitya Academy, which is coming under the Ministry of Culture, and this body of Sahitya Academy comes under it. And the Gyanpeeth Award, that was also given to this lady. So both the awards were given to her. And Zindagi Nama, Mitro Marjani, these were the important writings. And now she died. Okay, she declined the Padma Bhushan Award to the present government. So that's why she was in news. And next data is regarding the Rafael issue. You see, one argument was given by government in the Supreme Court recently when they said that we have produced the CAG report to the Public Account Committee and nothing was the issue. And the leader of opposition and the opposition party, they said that in what parallel universe you submitted the whole report of CAG regarding Rafael issue. Why? Because we need to know about PSC and the CAG. CAG is the constitutional body coming under Article 148 to 150. And CAG is the friend, philosopher and the guide of the Public Account Committee. And this Public Account Committee is headed by leader of opposition. So anyhow, they can check the expenditure by the government. So it's a check and balance committee and very important committee headed by opposition leader. So Mallikarjun Kharge was the opposition leader and he said that I never came across about any kind of report. The government is totally lying in the Supreme Court. And now through an RTI, this thing is open. CAG is saying that this report on Rafael issue is not completed yet. So it raises a serious question that on what grounds government gave this argument in the Supreme Court that this report we have submitted to PSC. That means opposition was right in his argument. And when this report is till now not finalized, so how can you say that we have submitted this report? So that was the issue going on. So a lot of clarification would follow. Big articles would also come on this issue. I'm sure about that. So we would discuss that in detail. Next data is President Ramaphosa, who is the chief guest of Republic Day today. And in the PIB video, I also discussed this issue yesterday, that we are reviewing the 22 years old strategic relationship with South Africa. And 3-year strategic partnership agreement is also done, is also signed now. You see, we are the party to BRICS, both these countries, India and South Africa, BRICS, G20, IORA, and IPSA Dialogue Forum. Everywhere we are participating. So we have enormous opportunities, and it's a developing nation like us. So we have very much huge amounts of common grounds we have. Okay, and India congratulated South Africa for being selected as a non-permanent member of the Security Council of UN for this year 19 and 20. You see, non-permanent members are chosen for the for this Security Council membership, because permanent members are only 5: US, UK, China, Russia and France. Other members are non-permanent. So for some years they are chosen. India has been chosen for many times. So this South Africa is now. So India congratulated South Africa, and India also invited South Africa to join the International Solar Alliance, where we are the leader. And here they are thanking us in the India-Africa field training exercise, which is going to be started next month. And the next information, the Vibrant Gujarat Summit happened, where the second day was totally devoted to Africa continent. So there also it was important for the president. He thanked for that. That's the information. Next data from Greece. Greece Parliament approves the Macedonia name change deal. What is this deal? You see, there used to be a country called Yugoslavia. it disintegrated in 1990s and all these countries were formed. So this Macedonia was also a part of Yugoslavia, as it is called FYROM, means former Yugoslavian region of Macedonia. So Greece is here. Greece's boundary is this boundary, and it was a region called Macedonian Greece also. So it was a great confusion, and Greece said that we are also having this area, a region called Macedonia, so we won't allow you this name. And this tussle is going on for 30 years now. Now the deal is signed that Macedonia would be changing its name to North Macedonia, and Greece would allow Macedonia to become a member of EU. Macedonia right now is not a member of EU. It wants to be a member. So Greece is having trouble with that. But Greece now would allow. So that is the deal. Okay. So Mr. Alexis Tsipras experienced huge political losses, and this again the right-wing movement erupted against him, and a lot of issues followed. And when Greece also experienced many hostilities in the last decade after 2008 crisis. So now Greece is troubled with a lot of situations, and now it has to sign a deal with Macedonia. So go on the atlas and find all these capital cities and all these areas, water bodies, their boundaries in this map, because it is a very complex area here in the Eastern Europe. Okay, this is Croatia, Adriatic Sea, this is Aegean Sea here. Okay, Ionian Sea, Aegean Sea. So these are the parts of Mediterranean Sea only. Okay. Next, the prelims questions, MCQs. Try them, and I've tried my best to explain you all these issues and all these questions that I'm trying. I'm trying that I come closer to the UPSC's speculations about their questioning. So direct questions can be there next year, and the same issue is there with the PIB videos, where I'm also trying my best to collect the best possible information. Okay, and write this huge question, 1200 words I'm giving to you, and it is based on this movement that is going on all over the world, in all the countries. The conservatism is going on. So take it positively and write about it out of these facts and experiences. Search the matter on the internet, that how this conservatism is on rise and cooperation is on decline. Okay, anti-globalization trend is going on by America, the country who started globalization. So all these data would be an important component of this question. Okay, so that's the situation, and thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Saini. This is the group where I upload these PDFs, and this is the ID of my Facebook page. Thanks a lot.